Normally, the Regency Beauty Institute is open from 9 to 4:30, but when students showed up this morning, the doors were locked and this sign was on the door. As of today, Regency Beauty Institute is permanently closed.
That's $20,000, $40,000, $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 just right here.
Students met up outside the school on Gun Barrel Road to air their frustrations.
We have a right to protest. We have a right to be angry. We have a right to feel this way, and we can.
This food city is just one of hundreds of grocery stores across the state where it's now legal to sell wine. Pairing food and wine. Tennessee supermarkets celebrated the new item that officially hit their shelves this morning. Right at 8 o'clock, Food City customers could check out with a bottle of red.
Enjoy.
Most people who survive something like this would be in tears. But even though he didn't want to tell us his story, today we heard Greg humming.
Greg and I have always had a joke that every day a holiday in Rosalie.
He's had that attitude ever since I've known him.
Greg told me he has a mess to clean up, but other than that, he's good to go. It's no surprise that with such a positive outlook, so many people
Hand it up here, Bill.
have Greg's back.
I done called him. Allison's on the way with 100 of them. His phone was just ringing one after another.
To Greg Day, if you're not having a good day in Rosalie, you're not really trying.
That's right. That's right. He's right about that.
This year, it's looking like the Peach State might play as a swing state. The latest poll has Trump leading Clinton by just 3% in Georgia, which hasn't gone blue since 1992.
Hey, that's just the state I live in, but my voice is different. There you go. Thank you.
Of course, it was all of his Marines, but it was one of his particular ones that got killed, and it was sad.
And I really thank him. I don't know how much I can really thank him for helping me. Because, you know, this Christmas I will be seeing my daughters.
Do you think he saved your life that day?
He did. He really did.
Two strangers who worked just feet apart at Volkswagen in Chattanooga.
Ian was brave. You know, he was real brave.
Two strangers who are meeting for the second time today.
You rarely come in contact with people like that.
Thank you so much.
Clasp, crank, cut. The holiday season is still months away, but this is Drew White's final trimming routine.
Ideally, you want to take about half the new growth off
to make Christmas trees picture perfect.
What I found the best thing to do is start at the bottom and just draw your line straight where you want the top to be.
Make some noise for Hannah, guys! Come on!
For Brent, it's being able to watch the little miracles.
All right, guys, here he is! Come on home!
At the Miracle Field.
If they're in a wheelchair, they still get to go around the bases and hit a home run, and that's something they weren't supposed to be able to do.
Like a blind player hitting the ball and running around the bases. Brent's love for the players and this field is out of the park. David brings his bees home to install.
Okay, they're loaded and they're ready to go.
So we're getting a tutorial from one of the best in the biz, Gary Rains. He's the past president of the Northwest Georgia Beekeepers Association.
This is a 3-pound package of bees. There are about 2,500 to 3,000 bees in this box.
It's better.
Using fish as his canvas and hemp paper for the print.
Right there.
Each detail of the fish gets transferred with a press.
That's just such good detail.
A pull.
So pull it up.
And a stroke of colored pencil.
Once you do the eye, it brings it to life.
Making sure each fish lives on well past the day it's hooked.
GSP troopers are responsible for enforcing the laws on the state's major routes, I-75 being a big one. And troopers say while their numbers are dwindling, the number of fatalities is increasing. The iconic hat of a Georgia trooper.
Good morning, sir.
It's hard to miss, but right now it's also hard to find.
I'll be back with you in a moment.
The agency's numbers are way down.
We want people on the interstate because interstate is our problem.
Corporal Ernest Bonaparte is the assistant commander of Post 5 in Dalton. He says a shortage means troopers are getting tied up investigating accidents when they should be patrolling to prevent those accidents from happening in the first place.
Have a good day.
So why are there so few troopers? Bonaparte says, for one, there's a demanding application process. Trooper Zeb Hensley says it took a year just to find out that he had been accepted to go to trooper school, and that's when things actually got difficult.
If it was easy, anybody would be out here.
Trooper school has historically had approximately a 50% fail rate.
18 weeks at the academy. It's basically a boot camp that requires physical and mental discipline. Hensley says 3 people in his class dropped out 12 minutes in.
It's one of those things that I never want to go back and do again because it was so rigorous.
It's discipline is what it goes back to.
However, it was one of the most rewarding days of my life, when I finally walked across the stage and got my big hat.
Another reason applicants are shying away from the GSP, the pay. According to the Georgia Fraternal Order of Police, Georgia troopers are paid less than troopers in 8 other southeastern states. But both Bonaparte and Hensley say being a trooper was a calling, and if your heart's not in it, it's just not for you.
No, I'm not going to get rich doing this job. But this blue uniform stands for something, and that's why I choose to be here.
Catherine Marchand, News Channel 9.
This week we're in Rock Spring, Georgia, showing you the true definition of farm to table. And take a look at this pizza. Those herbs actually grown in the restaurant. Here's a look at how it's done.
If you want to serve great food, it is impossible to do without great products.
That's why Bob, the owner of Bob's Brick Oven Pizza,
These vegetables are some of what I picked just this morning.
plants, picks, and prepares produce from his garden in Northwest Georgia for your table at the pizzeria.
Within a matter of a few hours, these will be sliced, put onto a pizza, and served.
But with the herbs, it can be a matter of minutes.
This is hydroponics. Hydroponic being hydro meaning water. So this is a soilless environment, grow environment.
Basil, thyme, oregano growing right next to your table.
The roots are able to grow right directly into the water and draw the nutrients it needs from the water.
Plus the hydroponic lighting.
The nutrients we use are going to be primarily a nitrogen-based nutrient because the nitrogen is what produces the foliage.
All this allows plants to grow rapidly.
It can grow as much as 3/4 of an inch to an inch a day.
Want some herbs for flavor? Snip.
Right now, this is the basil, and I've got some oregano and thyme that I've just cooked.
Wash, serve.
For somebody to see you actually pick it off the stem right then and serve it right then, just like that right there. Awesome.
There is this disconnect that we have with our food. You know, where does your food come from? Well, your food comes from the supermarket, of course.
50% of the veggies for these tables are from Bob's garden.
We water these vegetables every single night. Every one of them, every night.
Which he says has been a difficult task this year because of the drought.
I do not do it for the price. I do not do it because I save a lot of money by cutting my own vegetables and bringing it in. I do it because it's the right thing to do.
There's this sweetness and just a pungent tomato flavor that you can't get from the store.
From a garden on Lookout Mountain to a brick oven in Rock Spring to your table, as farm fresh as humanly possible.
There's nothing more enjoyable than to set a pizza down on a customer's table and say, you know, I grew those peppers. Because they look at you, it's the last thing that they expect.